Pleasure is the bait of sin. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. The wise man does not expose himself needlessly to danger, since there are few things for which he cares sufficiently. The ultimate value of life depends upon awareness and the power of contemplation rather than upon mere survival. The educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living from the dead. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Nature does nothing in vain. The ultimate value of life depends upon awareness and the power of contemplation rather than upon mere survival. In all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. The aim of the wise is not to secure pleasure, but to avoid pain. Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. The whole is more than the sum of its parts. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. All men by nature desire knowledge. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Friendship is a single soul dwelling in two bodies. Man is by nature a social animal. All human beings, by nature, desire to know. The energy of the mind is the essence of life. The only way to avoid criticism is to say nothing, do nothing, and be nothing. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. The worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things unequal. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. It is not what we have, but what we enjoy that constitutes our abundance. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. The virtue of justice consists in moderation, as regulated by wisdom. Happiness depends upon ourselves. The greatest virtues are those which are most useful to other persons. The secret of happiness is to live in accordance with nature. The educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living from the dead. The experience of a thing is its own peculiar excellence, and not that of another. Dignity consists not in possessing honors, but in the consciousness that we deserve them. Education is an ornament in prosperity and a refuge in adversity. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. Wishing to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow, ripening fruit. We become what we habitually do. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. He who has overcome his fears will truly be free. In poverty and other misfortunes of life, true friends are a sure refuge. The law is reason free from passion. It is not enough to win a war. It is more important to organize the peace. To be conscious of being, you need to reclaim consciousness from the mind. This is one of the most essential tasks on your spiritual journey. The wise man does not seek to be understood. He seeks to understand. It is the nature of desire not to be satisfied, and most men live only for the gratification of it. The end of labor is to gain leisure. One swallow does not make a summer, neither does one fine day. Similarly, one day or brief time of happiness does not make a person entirely happy. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. All persons ought to endeavor to follow what is right, and not what is established. Happiness is a state of activity. Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Pleasure in moderation is the key to lasting enjoyment. A woman never refuses to have sex with a man who is fascinated by his sensuality. To avoid criticism, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. It is not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well. The most important part of education is proper training in the nursery. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives, choice, not chance, and determines your destiny. The one exclusive sign of thorough knowledge is the power of teaching. Friendship is essentially a partnership. It is not easy to determine the nature of music or why anyone should have a knowledge of it. Those who educate children well are more to be honored than parents, for these only gave life, those the art of living well. Men create gods after their own image, not only with regard to their form, but with regard to their mode of life. The least initial deviation from the truth is multiplied later 1,000-fold. The soul never thinks without a picture. All knowledge and every pursuit aims at some good. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. Cultivation to the mind is as necessary as food to the body. We must not say every mistake is a foolish one. Glory follows virtue as if it were its shadow.